Hello and welcome back to more 1820 Investigations 2. War in last episode, we cross-examined John and Lang and a bunch of different, trying to figure out what happened in the case, and then we took a trip back down memory lane to the SS5 incident with the use of Kay's Little Thief in an attempt to figure out what happened in this case. And now we're here continuing it again. I'm recording this immediately after the last episode because I forgot to save the game. I didn't forget. I hit no instead of yes accidentally, so here we are. I gotta play this or else I can't save the game, or I'd have to redo the last episode, and I don't want to do that. Oh, one more thing. We also discovered that apparently Gru from Despicable Me was on the scene. So, you know, that's interesting. I mean, it's probably not gonna actually end up being Gru, but I don't know who else it would be that's bald and has that pointy of a freaking nose, and also apparently a pet dog in the... Oh my god, it's Dojin. It's Dojin. Okay, right, because he's... Yep, he's Surin Dojin. He's... Okay, I probably should have put that together immediately. It's because he has the dog in the picture, and he's bald, and he has the... Is that a sword in his hand? Or the bell? Either way, I think it's the bells. Okay. Probably should have spotted that immediately, but, you know, it's fine. The explanation that it was Gru was funnier anyway. So, yeah, that's interesting. Anyway, okay. Now then, April 6th, 4:51 p.m. outside Grand Tower temporary film lot. John. Oh, yeah, also, we found out that he's not actually her son, which we kind of assumed, because if he was her son, this would raise a lot of questions, a lot of really uncomfortable questions. But, now it's confirmed that he's adopted, and his real father was the president. So that guy was my dad. He found out about his own birth so suddenly, and furthermore, his newfound father is no longer in this world. I've always been searching for my dad. John... I get it, alright? He's the president. I know it's a complicated situation, but we even met face to face during the filming. So then why? Huh? Why didn't he tell me who he really was? I'm sorry, John. But Mom, you don't need to apologize. No matter how you look at it, it's all my fault. That is kind of strange. Like, why wouldn't he... Well, I guess if we're going with my theory that one of them was a body double, because if the president was seen in both places at once, he had to have been the body double. Because Shelley the Killer told us in the beginning of this case that he does use body doubles, so I'm guessing that's gonna be involved in this case in some way. So, yeah, that's probably... I mean, if it was the body double, that would explain why he didn't say anything about it.
Yesterday, I broke my promise with you and didn't even notice the fire on the roof. So I destroyed everything. I crushed it all. My dad, and those flowers that my mom carefully grew.
John, please, for now, just don't think about anything. Just stay like this for a little while. Just for a little while, okay?
The bond between a parent and child. That's the meaning behind Lion Lilies. I know it's not my style, but the flower is from Zhang Fei.
However, we have no means of protecting that bond. Agent Lang, allow me to say this. The case won't be solved by sentimentality alone. Therefore, shouldn't we do all that we can to solve it?
Yeah, you're right.
The recreation of the past is finished. Were your father's deductions correct?
My old man took his deductions to the grave. He never told anyone about them. So, who knows if they were right or not?
In that case, what about your own deductions? I would like to hear what you think happened, but based on the recreation, in order for us to get closer to the truth of 12 years ago.
Yeah, I was thinking it's about time. I can see it now. My old man's back real close. I'll catch up to him for sure. To the truth that my old man uncovered.
Okay, let's hear about how wrong you are, because that's just in your nature to be wrong about everything. Okay.
There's no mistake that the president went to the orphanage. The stuffed toy is proof of that. He was planning to meet with Amy Marsh.
That's corroborated by the SS5 incident files, right? That says, where's the file? Ah, right here, okay. It does say, President Zhang Fei, Ji Junhui was kidnapped on February 10th, 12 years ago. Kidnappers demanded ransom $100 million, confirmed on the evening of the incident. The president was at the Zhang Fei embassy until midnight. Wait, the Zhang Fei embassy? That doesn't... Wait, I thought he was... Wait, no, he was at the orphanage, not the embassy... Oh, wait! Dojin was there! He was... Where, I keep losing him. He's here. That's what it was. That's why he was there. Okay. Okay. So, Dojin was there. Dojin was at the scene of the crime 12 years ago. And Dojin is a former assassin. Like, that was what he did with his life. He was an assassin. And the only reason I can think for him to have been there would be if he was hired by someone to assassinate the president. Problem with that is that it says the president was both at the embassy and at the orphanage all night. Two places at once, eh? Well, here's the thing, buddy. What do you say the odds are that the body double was the one who hired Dojin to assassinate the president, which would then lead him to, because the thing is, there's a lot of things that I just put together in my head. I'm trying to streamline it all. So, we already proved that this photo was fake, right? It wasn't actually the photo that was taken when the murder happened. It was taken way after the fact to stage something. So, why would it have been taken to stage? Like, what would I have been trying to stage? So the theory as of now is that this was a kidnapping, right? But if this photo was taken after the fact, this is the only evidence we have that it was actually a kidnapping, right? And if it was taken after the fact, that would mean it was taken after Cameron already called Jill to say that the president was kidnapped. So now that I know that, here's what I think happened. I think what happened is, so let's start from the top. Body double hires Dojin to kill the president so that he can take his place and take control of Zhang Fei. And then with that in mind, actually, you know what else? That might actually explain why the toy is missing a horn. This is a really big stretch, I'll admit that much, but the photo shows that the doll had 2 horns back then. So what do you think the odds are that when Dojin was slicing at him, he sliced the horn of the doll off? Like, maybe he raised the doll to try to block the attack? That's a stretch, I know, but it's just something I want to point out. But more importantly, so, they want to try to kill the president so that the body double can take over. But Cameron oversees this, and so then they hear him talking about how it's a fake kidnapping. So to cover their asses, they decide to make it a fake kidnapping, and then they say, hey, ransom money, we have the president, That would explain it. That would explain everything. Well, okay, not everything. That explains like a fraction of what we have left to figure out. But it at least explains that much. It explains who the man in the drawing was. It explains what actually happened with and why the photo was faked. And it explains, so if the president died back then it was the body double who died recently, right? Like, this is just the body double's death. Which means it was the body double up on the roof with Courtney, right? Jesus Christ, this game, I swear. This gets more insane by the second. Okay. Oh, right, you're in the middle of a testimony, I forgot that. So, the president was kidnapped and Cameron just happened to witness it. If Cameron hadn't been there, it probably would have just been a kidnapping with no murder. Well, that's not true, because there was a giant pool of blood there. And now, I think we know whose blood exactly that was. I think it was the president's, because we think that he was assassinated. As the body was moved. But then, so there's a problem there. Problem there is that wherever they wouldn't have been able to hide the body unless, wait, no, they could have hidden the body, because, wait, I need to see exactly what you said. The thing he laid to rest in front of the flower beds 12 years ago, so they must retrieve it. It wasn't ransom money that was sitting under there, because it was never going to be a kidnapping. Because they didn't plan for it to be a kidnapping. They planned for it to be a murder. They hid the body in there. They hid the body. They dug it into the flower beds, and that's what they hid there, not the ransom money. That is really freaking clever. Oh my god, that's really smart. Okay, that would be what Blaze was going to retrieve the other day. Freaking this game, I swear, this is like just non-stop genius deductions. Okay, so anyway, Lang, you're wrong about that. We now know that there was actually going to be a killing. Well, it's not really what happened 2 years ago. No, it was not. Okay, here we go. The truth is almost about to come out. However, there's one thing I still don't get. Something you don't get. It's this. Why do they need to take a fake photo? Oh, I know why. I think I just figured out the reason why. Just let me prove it.
That's true. However, the answer to that riddle must lie somewhere within. Once we get past the layers upon layers of deductions, we shall surely reach it.
Yeah, that's right. I'd like to hear your deductions as well.
Alright, you want to hear my deductions? I think I just solved the SS5 incident. So, you say that there wasn't going to be a murder, there wasn't going to be a murder, there would only been a kidnapping. Well, I say the reverse. There was going to be a kidnapping as a result of the murder, and the murder was always the original plan, and the proof of that is the bloodstain on the ground. If the eyewitness, Cameron, had not been there, no murder would have taken place. Is that really the case?
The criminal's goal was only to kidnap the president. Nope. If there were no witnesses, there would have been no need to commit murder, right?
And what if Cameron wasn't the only one who was murdered? There was a large bloodstain near the flower beds. However, Cameron was murdered near the snowman. Ergo, this bloodstain could not have belonged to Cameron. Someone else's blood was spilled. And quite a vast amount at that.
Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, do you have any idea what you're saying?
I do. It's hard to believe, however, that is what the evidence indicates. On that night, 12 years ago, there were 2 murders.
Are you saying that the other murder was covered up? Who? Just who the heck could have been killed?
A murder that was cleverly concealed. All traces of it were erased, and the incident itself was completely deleted from the case files. However, there's one piece of evidence that still remains intact after 12 years. This piece of evidence shows that something happened that night, and that would be the drawing that shows us that Dojin was there to kill the president. The other murder incident was buried in the dark by Blaze the Best. However, there is still one piece of evidence that remains. Agent Lang, it survived by your father's hands.
My old man, you say?
Please recall. There was one more thing that was hidden along with the traces of the murder. And that is the existence of the boy who caused the fire. Why did Blaze make the boy disappear? It's because he saw something that he wasn't supposed to see.
What was the thing you weren't supposed to see?
Everything is drawn in this picture.
The drawing my old man had.
The person drawn on the right is most likely the president. The Muzilla doll is also drawn near him. And the person standing opposite him is Surin Dojin. A man with a knife and a large black dog. He is none other than Surin Dojin.
What? The assassin?
Why would an assassin appear before a president? The answer is clear. Indeed, what occurred that night on the orphanage grounds 12 years ago was not a kidnapping. It was a presidential assassination!
Then,
Miss Rowland and Mr. Blaze were...
Yes, the 2 were likely partners in crime. One furnished the orphanage to use as the scene of the incident, and the other covered up the young boy's testimony. It's likely that Mr. Cameron was murdered because he witnessed the assassination itself. After all, the kidnapping never actually happened.
Stop messing around. You're saying that the president was assassinated 12 years ago? We just found his body today. Nope, we found the body double. It's been alive until now. We found the body double.
That's right, I mean, we met him ourselves.
If the president was assassinated 12 years ago, and the president's body was found today, that would imply there are 2 presidents.
Yeah, and that can't be right.
Are you sure about that? There is the possibility that there were 2 presidents. That's right. Up until now, I've been getting a strange feeling from the president.
Even so, I still respect the man. Zhang Fei is a small country, but he carried this nation with his strength.
The image of President Wang, the Agent Lang describes.
You are wrong,
He revealed his true form. Differs far too greatly from the President Wang we knew. It's as if they were 2 entirely different people. If there were in fact 2 Zhang Fei presidents. Exactly how would such a scenario be possible? Because Shelly the Killer told us about the body doubles. What would make the existence of 2 presidents possible? Body doubles. Because Shelly the Killer told us all about it. If we were to assume that one of them was a body double, wouldn't it be possible then?
A body double?
President Wang possessed immense power and authority in Zhang Fei. I'm sure there were those who had envied his position and made attempts on his life. Yes, just as he was attacked a few days ago at Gourd Lake.
It's true, there were those who sought Wang's life from time to time, but I can't easily believe there were 2 presidents. At least not without any evidence.
Do I have evidence that proves there were 2 presidents? Yes, we do. Because we have the SS5 incident files, which proves that he was in 2 places at once. Has Agent Lang not noticed this contradiction? Or has he noticed it but can't admit it?
What is it, Mr. Prosecutor? Don't shout something out only to suddenly clam up.
According to the recording on the doll, the president visited the orphanage at midnight. However, that should not have been possible.
Huh? Why's that?
Why? Because at the time, the president should have been at the embassy. He was together with Agent Lang's father. So, Agent Lang, you really did notice. He was in 2 places at the same time, ergo there must have been 2 presidents.
Then which of the 2 was the real president on that day 12 years ago?
Most likely the one who died. Who contracted Dojin to murder Huang? In order to learn that, first, we must have a look at the evidence that we proved was false earlier. And the piece of evidence we know to be false is Cameron's photo. The photo taken with Cameron's camera was taken after he was murdered, and he was murdered because he witnessed the presidential assassination. In other words, the photo must have been taken following the assassination. Given that, who is the president pictured in the fake photo? We must consider him to be the body double. In other words, the body double had the real president murdered and then took his place. Patricia Rowland and Blaze must have cooperated in that plan. Hold it. Huang's body was never found. Just where could it have disappeared to? It disappeared in the flower bed that has now been turned into a monster footprint. The answer to that is already quite apparent. This is where the real presidential body was. It was hidden inside the monster's footprint that we have. Last night, there was something Blaze had to unearth with his own 2 hands. That item was not the ransom, but it was something far more important. And you know why he had to do it? It's because the Will Powers told us that the studio was going under construction soon, so we had to get the body out of there before the construction started. So goddamn smart. The real president's body possibility is quite high. What'd you say? The bones from the body buried 12 years ago would have still remained. According to Mr. Powers, construction was to begin soon at this lot. That was the deadline, both for the movie and retrieval of the body.
Because they would have found the body when they started the construction.
Agent 9, let us search the footprints that Blaze dug up. Yeah, the body was buried there. There'd be traces of it. Hey, somebody call forensics.
I have the results of the search. We found traces in the dirt that suggest the body was buried here.
As I suspected. So, it was Huang after all.
We also recovered the skeletal remains that Blaze the Best dug up. They were in his home. In addition to the bone structure, the dental records and the bone fractures all match up. We can confirm that it was indeed President Huang.
So the real President Huang was indeed killed 12 years ago. The SS5 incident was a murder. The twist in this game, I swear.
So the SS5 incident was actually a murder incident. But there's so much information, it's way too confusing.
You don't say, Kay. Indeed, let us take this opportunity to review the details of this case.
First, the real president came from the orphanage, right?
12 years ago, the true President Huang visited the orphanage in order to meet his son. The footsteps in the snow that we thought belonged to Mr. Cameron were most likely made by the president at that time. President Huang was supposed to meet his son here. However, the one who actually showed up was the assassin, Sir Dojin.
He came here to meet his son, but he was murdered instead. How horrible!
A man like Dojin shows no mercy. And after that, the second tragedy occurred.
You mean Mr. Cameron's murder?
Indeed, Mr. Cameron saw the decisive moment. After the real president was killed by Dojin, his body was carried to the rear courtyard by the team of kidnappers. Mr. Cameron must have witnessed that moment from the orphanage entrance. Although he himself believed that he had actually witnessed a kidnapping. Furthermore, by this time,
the body double who had come to meet up with Blaze and Miss Rowland was already standing behind Mr. Cameron.
And then the witness to the incident, Mr. Cameron, was killed by the body double.
Oh, was killed by the body double. So was Mr. Cameron's corpse also carried by the body double?
Yes, that seems likely.
But there wasn't anything at the crime scene that looked like a body double's footprints.
Well, that wouldn't necessarily matter because the shoe sizes would make it such that you could have just stepped in the footprints that Huang made as he entered the orphanage. So, I already figured out how he accomplished that. I didn't want to open this. There was a piece of evidence that would have made it possible. What did the body double use? He used the victim's shoes. This is almost certainly how the body double carried with Mr. Cameron's corpse. As Mr. Cameron was killed, the president's body double carried him into the middle of the garden. I suspect the body double was wearing the same shoes as the real president at the time, if he made sure to step precisely on top of the footprints left by the real president.
Ah, so the shoes were the same. There would only be one set of footprints left behind in the snow. I think I got a pretty good grasp on the SS5 incident now, but there's still one thing I don't get.
What's that? Why did I need to stage the objection? Because Mr. Cameron witnessed the incident. He saw the president of the orphanage. He left behind witness testimony on Miss Crane's answering machine. Even Blaze couldn't make that disappear. Ergo, the body double needed a reason for the president to have been at the orphanage.
And that's why they prepared the fake kidnapping charade.
The people in the fake photo and the body are the body double and most likely Patricia Rowland.
The person that kills Miss Rowland, what makes you say that?
Two would have to leave the orphanage in order to take the picture. Just like when he moved the body, the double used the real president's footprints.
Ah, so the second set of footprints must belong to the person in the coat.
Indeed, we originally believed that those footprints belonged to Cameron's killer. They were size 7 footprints, too small for Blaze's feet. Thus, we can presume that the person playing the part of the kidnapper was Patricia Rowland. Hidden in the shadow of the presidential kidnapping was a presidential assassination. I see. So that's why my old man... Why he... what? The old man must have realized that a murder had taken place. After all, he had the kid's drawing.
However, that picture was never presented as evidence.
Your father likely took it from the young witness during the investigation and hid it. He had to have known that Huang was dead. But what if he had revealed that back then? Reveal the death of the president, the backbone of Zhang Fei. It would have caused chaos. And that's why my old man took the secret to his grave. He even took the blame for the kidnapping, knowing that would be the fall of the House of Lang. So this is the truth that Agent Lang's father hid 12 years ago.
And now it's all become clear.
Yes, it has, and oh my god, it was actually the same way this game ends, the same way it started, with a freaking assassination attempt. That's... Jesus Christ, this game. It just doesn't stop. It just keeps coming. Who?
Huh?
What? Who's there? Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. That's a chills down the spine moment. Gee, good God. That actually sent chills down my spine. The bell of Sir Indulgent. Good God. So he's here? Hi, friend. How's life? You. Why are you here? How can you just breezily show up here? Who do you think you are, pal? What voice did I give you again?
I found the conversation most intriguing and I just, well...
Are you feeling nostalgic about an old murder of yours? You're the one who killed Huang?
Nostalgia? I think not. You're speaking about the person I am searching for.
You're searching for someone?
I escaped from prison in order to meet with a young acolyte.
A young acolyte?
The one who wore the red raincoat.
Ah, so you're searching for Dane Gustavia's son, huh? Me too, because he's the mastermind of this entire game, and I can't wait to figure out who he is. I mean, we know he's gonna be Dane Gustavia's son, but still. The red raincoat.
Who is this person? I suspect that it's the same person as the mastermind you are searching for.
Yes, we know, thanks.
Don't they seem surprised, Anubis? Yes, they are, my boy. 12 years ago, this young acolyte saved my life.
Saved your life? Come again? Dojin's savior.
Certainly, it was I who killed President Huang.
Well, yeah, we figured that out already.
However, my life was also targeted on that day. The body double, Blaze, and Patricia all sought to seal my lips.
Ah, I see. Oh, okay, right, so, alright, so that's another piece of the puzzle that falls into place. So, the kid, Gustavia's son, finds out that Dojin's gonna be killed, and because Dojin, I guess because they have some kind of relationship, he's like, wait, don't kill Dojin, so he set off the fire, so that he'd be able to escape while they were all trying to get away from the fire. That explains it, okay.
Had I not been reunited with the young acolyte back then, I would have been in danger.
Can we get him to tell us who this young acolyte is? That'd be great. I doubt it, but we gotta try. So your client was indeed the body double, who was the main perpetrator of the crime.
Yeah. It was a long time ago, but I remember his words even now.
There have been countless attempts on my life, not just once or twice, countless. And yet, why must I be the only one to face the danger? When I stand before the people, I garner the same respect as the president does. Tell me, just what is the difference between him and me?
The difference was great, while the voice and style of speech may be the same. One can mimic the body, but the heart cannot be reproduced. I suppose his own weaknesses cost him in his quest to become a leader.
Yep.
I'm not sure if you're as capable as Rook was.
What do you say? I'm totally the leader now.
Perhaps the king and his knight were not so different after all. The devil believed that the president's only weakness was a woman called Amy. To find the woman, he needed the assistance of someone from this country. So he joined forces with Blaze. After determining her whereabouts, he simply waited for the right opportunity. That chance came with the meeting at the orphanage. Indeed, the director of the orphanage was bribed and brought in as an accomplice.
You must be referring to Patricia Rowland.
Well, given what I've told you, do you realize the whereabouts of the young acolyte now?
You mean the boy who saved you? But how do you know that he is the mastermind?
That day, the young one caused a fire at the garden of the orphanage.
Ah! You're talking about the kid who started the fire as a prank!
I don't think it was a prank.
Not at all. On that night, 12 years ago, the young acolyte was hiding inside the igloo.
There was an igloo there?
It seems he witnessed Patricia and Blaze moving the body from his hiding place. Apparently, he heard them talking during that time. It would seem that they were planning to kill me because I knew the truth. He immediately came to the main hall to tell me that. I learned this about the young acolyte sometime later. It seems he was wearing a red raincoat at the time.
Of course he was. That's just, when he came out of the room, he was already wearing a red raincoat.
He led me out of the main hall. And then the young acolyte said he was going to get rid of our footprints. So he scattered some lamp oil near the igloo over the snow. Then he boldly set the oil ablaze.
Ah! No way! So we set the fire in order to...
All their focus was diverted towards the burning flames. I took the opportunity to escape through the rear exit.
So, the boy in the red raincoat is the mastermind behind this case?
Exactly. Isn't that right, Anubis? Yes, boy. Yes, it is.
Okay. Could you, by chance, tell us who the acolyte was? Because we really need to know. We're this close to finding out who the mastermind is behind this entire game. We gotta draw him out of it draw it out of him somehow. Reunited. So, when did you first meet with him?
That'd be 18 years ago on the
24th of December. Okay, so that confirms then that it was the that it was Gustavia's son, because that lines up too perfectly with the IS-7 incident. That is a rather long time ago.
On that day, our roles were reversed. I saved the...
You say... Okay, well, that explains why he wanted to save you. But how did you...
There was an unusual snowstorm on that day. The temperature was well below freezing.
Also, I never thought about this until now. Who has a cooking show on Christmas Eve? Like, really?
I took Anubis for a walk.
I'm not talking, like, airing it. I'm talking, like, filming it. Like, really? What? That actually... I didn't even think about that. That makes Dane Gustavia even more of an asshole, because he decided to spend his Christmas Eve not with his family. No. He spent it with the cakes. Father, can we get the Father of the Year award to Dane Gustavia, please? Like, wow.
That's when Anubis noticed something and started running. I followed after him and found a car. I had great difficulty opening the door. It had frozen shut.
Frozen shut? Oh.
In the back seat, there were two young children shivering from the cold. Let me guess,
Gustavia and Dover's sons? Wait. Only one of them is tied up. Two children.
Had they remained in the car for an hour longer, they surely would have frozen to death.
Okay, but like, one of them's been tied up, but the other one's just, like, chilling there. Like, literally chilling there.
I brought the two of them to a nearby orphanage.
Is there anything about Dojin's story that concerns me? Yes, there is very much something. Well, there's a lot of things that concern me, actually. No. I mean, well, the number of children's interesting because it's gonna be Gustavia and Dover's sons. But the thing there that caught my eye is that only one of the two of them was... Wait! Oh, that explains it, that's why. Okay, so, this is the other thing. what do you think the odds are that the reason why... Okay, so I don't know which of the two of them was which. Oh, actually, wait, no, I can compare it to the... We don't have the photo, do we? Do we have the IS-7 incident files? We do. Does by chance this have the photo? Of course not. I was hoping it was gonna have the photo. We saw a photo, of... Back in case 3, of the two sons. I don't know which one was which, but one of them had their hands tied up. The other one didn't. So here's what I think happened. I think Dover... Because Dover's the one who screwed Gustavia out on this deal. So, because that's why the deal went sour. Dover probably told his son, hey, so, I know it's Steve and everything, but like, I'm gonna need to use you just so I can win the competition. Go tie up Gustavia's son and kidnap him so that I can win and Gustavia can't get help from his son. So he took him. He probably told him go wait in the car, like lock him in the car or whatever. What apparently went wrong with this plan, then that's why his hands were tied up, is that he locked himself in the car as well, and did so in a way so that the door literally wouldn't open, and the door froze shut. That's the motive right there. That's the motive as to why that all happened. Okay, man, every single case so far has been referenced. Everything is all tying together, and yet it still doesn't make any sense. Like, we're getting bits and pieces of it solved every now and again, but they're all just like these little distant puzzle pieces. It's like I'm solving 4 corners of a puzzle, but the middle bit's all messed up and I don't know how to connect it all together. 24th of December, 18 years ago, are you sure about that?
There is no mistake.
Could that mean? I know. The significance behind that date. What shows the significance of the date when Dojin found the children? That would be the IS-7 incident documents.
Take that!
That day, a certain incident occurred. A sculptor was murdered. Ah! During that incident, 2 young boys went missing. Yup, that's exactly, okay, now we have the proof. Because the one on the right, the one on the left with no hair, that's the one that wasn't tied up, but the one with the long hair, that's the one who was tied up, and he's Gustavia's son. That is exactly what freaking happened. The sons of the victim, Isaac Dover and the culprit named Gustavia. We never did find out where those 2 boys went after the case 18 years ago.
Oh, they were the sons of a victim and a culprit. It all makes sense now.
What makes sense?
One of the youths was bound so that he could not move.
Mr. Dover did it so that Mr. Gustavia's son couldn't come to the contest venue.
Indeed, Gustavia was using his own son as a taste tester, and Dover was using his own son as a kidnapper.
To think that was what transpired. Neither child seemed to recall what had happened.
They lost their memories?
The acolyte told me this when we were reunited 12 years ago. The pair were placed in an extreme situation, on the verge of freezing to death. The trauma led them both to suffer from amnesia. Neither, someone just remember his own name.
So they didn't even know that they were the sons of Mr. Dover and Mr. Gustavia?
Indeed. While we cannot say it's conclusively, the probability is quite high. I mean, they probably remember something. I'm guessing. However, we still don't have enough information to deduce the mastermind's identity. Dojin, would you please continue your story?
Very well.
Alright, round 2, here we go.
I continued my correspondence with the young acolyte.
Wait, your correspondence? Oh, you mean like the chess game that you guys were doing? Well, okay, well wait, if it's a chess game, then you're lying again.
Buddy, we already called you out on this lie. Buddy, don't try again.
Remember in case 2, when you're like,
I have no connection to Knightley, and
we're like, you're wrong, buddy, because you were playing chess with him. And then he's like, I don't know who Knightley is. Yeah, well, you're just a lying sack of shit, because you weren't playing chess with the acolyte, you were playing chess with Horace Knightley.
Recently, that has all come to an abrupt halt, however, it left me quite concerned. Furthermore, those involved in the crime 12 years ago were all drawn into incidents one by one. I grew more and more curious, and so I absconded briefly from the prison.
Those involved 12 years ago were Patricia Rowland, Blaise de Best, and President Wang's body double.
And Miss Rowland was the warden of Mr. Dojin's prison.
I blackmailed the warden. That woman had tried to kill me. Perhaps the good prosecutor had already deduced the reason.
You murdered President Wang. However, the world still believed he was alive, if you were able to prove the president was a fake. Both Patricia Rowland and Blaise de Best would have been in danger.
That is correct, and I had heard the proof with my own ears.
I'll be waiting in the courtyard of the orphanage at midnight on February 9th. Even if it's just once, I want John to be able to meet you. I'm sorry if I'm being selfish, but I'll be waiting. Who might you be? My apologies, but I am presently waiting for someone.
I am well aware of that, President Wang. Are you not meeting with your son? However, I do not spill blood needlessly. You may relax. I seek only the President's life.
It can't be. Please wait. I am just about to meet my son for the first time. I'm sure this will be the first and the last time. Please, at least wait until we are finished.
I had thought the President would beg for his life, but he was of a different sort. Officially, the President had no son. However, he shook his head and said, this illegitimate son was his, and he intended to recognize him publicly. Furthermore, he claimed that he had already made preparations towards that end. Would that son of his be the boy with horns over there by any chance?
Boy, with the horns? Wait, you can see John's horns?
There is no need to see them. From the moment I escaped from prison until now, I have been closely lending an ear to your voices.
He said that the President made preparations towards recognizing his son. But the word preparations alone would be insufficient for blackmail. That's it! There was one thing that could prove Huang's words, the will held by the House of Lang. It was also proof of his trust in us. His son's existence would have been revealed to the world.
The name on the recording, the mention of preparations, and the will in Zhang Fei. Together, they suffice to make the warden bow to my words.
With those three pieces of information, one could prove the identity of the double. By using John.
The President blocked the first strike of my knife with something soft.
I called it! I called it! He blocked it with the little toy thing. Called it! So Dojin cut off the Muzilla doll's horn.
None but I heard his final words. Only myself and that child knew of the President's secret son.
Okay, so you keep trying to tell me that you're playing chess with someone who isn't Knightley, but we already proved that to be the case in the imprisoned Turnabout. In other words, you contacted him from prison.
That is correct. A post office box was used.
A post office box?
It would allow one to send and receive letters without revealing the recipient's location.
I could not use a form of correspondence that would reveal the acolyte's location. There was someone keeping watch over my correspondences, after all.
You must mean the prison warden, Patricia Rowland. Could you be more specific about the nature of your correspondences?
Well, they were mainly moves for my correspondence chess matches.
Which we already proved you were playing with Knightley and not the acolyte. Please try again! This might be hard to believe, but Dojin's chess opponent was...
Are you saying he was playing against Mr. Knightley? Wasn't it Horace Knightley?
We certainly found the correspondence chess memo in Knightley's cell. Yeah, like we already established it. This has already been long established. Does that mean Knightley boy was the kid from the I-7 incident? Could that really be true? Is there any evidence connecting Knightley to the I-7 incident? I did not think that was gonna be the case. There's no way. Okay, there's no way Knightley's the mastermind. One, from a purely storytelling perspective, they wouldn't make the mastermind someone who is dead. So, I'm gonna call bullshit on that. But proof that he was related to the I-7 incident. Well, I guess we just have to check the I-7 documents to find something. Oh, actually, no. Well, actually, no. We should probably check Knightley's stuff to see if there's anything in there that could connect him to it. All it's certain there's oh wait, no, this isn't indeed. Where's the thing that showed all of his? Right here, the mementos. Okay, a ring and chessboard found inside the safe at the 51st floor storeroom. It's got to be something in here. I don't know what it would be, but this was all that Knightley left behind. Could there be a clue hidden within? Which should I investigate? The ring or the chessboard? The only thing I can think is that maybe the ring might have the same pattern from that Pirouette made. Maybe, like... Oh, it does!
Mr. Edgeworth, what is it?
Mr. Shields, please take a look at this. This pattern it's Pirouette's. I thought so. He had Mr. Dover's seal turned into a ring. However, why would he have this? Shouldn't it have been held by the police as evidence from the I-7 incident? After the incident, the seal was returned to the victim's next of kin, and Mr. Dover's only family was his son, but since no one knew where the son had gone to, it took a while to get it to him. I heard that the police had finally found him and delivered his inheritance, but
so the seal was thereby safely delivered to his son, and then he turned the seal into a ring and wore it on his person. Okay, so that means Knightley was freaking Dover's son. But that doesn't really change. I mean, we're trying to find out who the mastermind is. I don't really give a shit about Knightley. He's already dead. So Mr. Knightley was Mr. Dover's son? Yeah, but the mastermind is the person who set off the fire. And that's Gustavia's son, right? Please not fools. I'm sure they did a thorough check before handing over the seal.
If someone involved in the IS-7 incident was his chess opponent.
Knightley, huh? And that man must be the mastermind behind this case. But Knightley is dead. He cannot be involved in this incident. How about that? The only one who could be the mastermind. Well, no, the other kid. The other kid, Gustavia's son. Did we forget about him? It certainly is strange. In that case, who is the culprit? It's gonna be Gustavia's son. Oh yeah, this guy's still yabbering on. Okay. That all came to an abrupt end. Furthermore, those involved in the crimes years ago were all drawn into the incidents one by one. Grew more and more curious, and so I absconded briefly. Yeah. Writing letters in Braille can be a rather enjoyable pastime. In Braille? What? You didn't write jack shit in Braille. The chess memo was not. This isn't Braille, you idiot. This is very clearly typed up. Like, what you freaking? Good God. So first this. Okay, let's review the chain of events. First this. I'm just gonna present this. So first this idiot is like, hey. I'm not talking to I'm not talking to Knightley. I don't know who he is. I'm just like, buddy, we already proved that. Now he's like, oh, I wrote my letter. I played correspondence just using Braille. It's like, no, you didn't. We have the evidence right here that proves that this wasn't. Good God, you didn't write this in Braille, you freaking idiot. It was just this typed up. On, this thing was typed up. You're making this like how can you be this? Like, the thing is, Dojin clearly isn't incompetent. He's clearly a fairly competent person. So why is he so... I mean, I get that he's blind, right? But he would know that's just more reason for him to know that this letter isn't Braille. He one feel of this thing would immediately be able to figure him out, or he'd be able to figure it out immediately that it wasn't actually Braille. It was typed up. So why that's the thing. Why exactly would Dojin lie about this thing being... Oh my God. No, there's no way. I'm gonna cheat. I'm cheating. I'm looking up. I'm opening up my video from the Imprisoned Turnabout. I need to see this. I swear I'm going crazy. But I need to check this. Well, we're the only friends either of us have had since childhood. He was the same as me. We never had real families. Oh my fucking God! It's Simon! But what? Because he was the one who... But... Dojin was telling the truth. Dojin was telling the truth the whole time. Because Simon was the one that was in the prison. That he was the one that was meeting with Knightley. So he could have been the one that was intercepting the letters, and he was translating it from Braille to something that was typed up. So Dojin was telling the truth. He really thought he was playing chess with Simon. He didn't realize he was playing chess with Knightley. But why? Wait, but if that's the case, because Regina, I thought I already proved this, because yesterday Regina said that with the crowds that they were together the whole time. So no, she didn't. Oh, how did I miss that? How the hell did I miss that? Oh my God, that is so smart. Okay, so I can't believe I missed this. Okay, Regina had one single line yesterday that said something along the lines of, "Oh, silly Simon, you get so worn out with the crowd so quickly." I didn't pay that at any mind. I didn't notice it even a little bit. But she said that one line, which means that at some point Simon got quote unquote upset with the crowds, and he must have split off from her. And if he split off from her to get away from the crowd, then that explains how he would have been able to make the phone call to us, because he was the one who kidnapped John. And I didn't even freaking think about it. And you want to know why? It's because I thought the twist was going to be that Ray betrayed us. And I know that sounds really dumb, but you gotta hear me out on this one. Okay, so you may have been screaming at me yesterday like, no, but it's obviously Simon. And you were right. It should have obviously been Simon. But it's because of that comment I got in the Prison Turnabout. Because here's the thing. I said in the disclaimer in episode 5 that it could have been anything, and that I wasn't spoiled technically because it could have been anything that they were referring to.
I still had a pretty good idea that it was going to be that Ray betrayed us in the end, because it was such a, like, yes, I said a lot, but the big thing that I said in that video was that, what if Ray betrays us at the end? So I'm like, oh, so that's going to be what it is. Okay, well, I'll keep that in the back of my head, but I'm not going to let it bother me. It's whatever. So I was so convinced that that was going to be the thing that I didn't even pay Simon a second mind. I didn't give him a second thought. So when the thing popped into my head, I'm like, why is he here? And he was by the fireworks, but I was 100% dead set that Ray was going to be the one to betray us. To the point where, like, I found an excuse. I looked for a logical justification for him to not be the mastermind, because I was so convinced that Ray was going to be the one to betray us. If I had not gotten that comment, I guarantee you I would have spotted him as the mastermind immediately. So that comment actually saved me from experiencing this twist earlier. I mean, assuming I could be completely wrong here. Like, it could still be Ray that betrays us, and Simon could not be the mastermind at all. But now that I'm thinking about it all in my head, it all makes sense. I'm slowly processing all the information, and every loose thread throughout this entire game, I can explain it all. Okay, you ready? Here we go. So, let's take it from the top. We know that Knightley was the other kid in that car, right? So, Knightley locked Simon in the car. The body double tried to kill Dojin. Roland tried to kill Dojin, and Blaze was the one who pulled the strings behind the scenes to make this all happen and made Simon's testimony disappear. So, Simon decides, I'm going to knock out all 3 of these 4 birds with 1 stone. And the way he does that is, I mentioned earlier, Simon was the one that Dojin and Knightley thought they were playing chess with. That's why Dojin was telling the truth. Like, he said, what, I don't know who Knightley is, what are you talking about? Because he genuinely thought he was playing chess with Simon. And Knightley probably thought he was playing chess with Simon as well. So he was the middleman between the two, and the reason why is because if he could establish a connection, a chess connection between Dojin and Knightley, then that would lead Roland to suspect that Knightley was the person who was one of Dojin's henchmen. And that's important because Simon was friends with Knightley. So Simon, I'm smiling, my god, this is so smart. I'm assuming this is correct, but it all makes so much sense that I'm convinced. So, Simon's friends with Knightley. So he encourages Knightley, they say, hey, little friendly pat on the shoulder, elbow bump. Why don't you go try to assassinate the president of Zhang Fei, you know? Casual friendly conversation or casual friendly encouragement from your good old friend Simon Keys over here. So, what that does is that would have, if he was successful, that would have killed 2 birds with 1 stone. It would have taken out the president of Zhang Fei, and it would have landed Knightley in prison. And if that landed him in prison, then that would have led him right to Roland, where she would have had the opportunity to kill him. Then, from behind the scenes, Blaze, I didn't even think about this until now. Blaze is the one who put Sebastian on that case, because he was trying to save Roland. He thought that if he removed Edgeworth as the prosecutor and put a complete idiot on the case, then he never would have been able to figure it out. Now, little did he know we were still able to solve the case, but that was his attempt to fix it. And now, Blaze is all that's left. He's taking care of Roland, he's taking care of Knightley, and he almost took care of the body double, but that's a matter for a different time. So, now all he has to do is play Jill and Blaze against each other. He communicates anonymously to both of them with letters, saying that, hey, Jill, I know you want Blaze dead. Well, guess what? Blaze is going to be hosting this auction, so why don't you come to this auction and we can deal with him. So Jill wants to kill Blaze, but then Simon tells Blaze, hey, Jill wants to kill you. Be ready. So Blaze is prepared ahead of time. He thinks of a scheme. He thinks of a really, really complicated plan to kill her and make sure he gets away scot-free. But he couldn't get away scot-free, because if he got away scot-free, then he never would have been nailed for the crime, and Simon wouldn't have gotten his revenge. So, Simon had to make sure that Blaze's plan would not be able to be seen to fruition. He had to interrupt it. So, it's because he needed Edgeworth to solve the case, and I needed Edgeworth to be involved in the case in the first place. So he kidnaps Kay by bringing her to Gore Lake, and then he gets in a hot air balloon, which, as a circus performer, Simon would likely have access to. So he takes her up in the hot air balloon, which explains the burner sound effect from Nicole's tape recorder, gets to the top like we deduced earlier today, and he takes the opportunity, because he gets to the top and he sees the body double there. And he takes the opportunity to finish off the body double just like we predicted. He lands the hot air balloon directly on top of the body double. I know what you're going to say, because this contradicts the time of death. It doesn't line up with the facts of the case. However, we learned in the Inherent Turnabout that if we freeze the body, it will throw on the time of death. And where was John taken to? He was taken to a cold storage facility. So all Simon had to do was bring the body to the same place that John was found, which would have frozen him and delayed the time of death to line up with the facts of the case. Then all I had to do was plant the body at the film lot in order to frame John for the murder. And as the final nail in the coffin, Simon kidnaps John so that Roland would be declared guilty, and that would conclude his revenge against every single person involved in the SS5 incident. Oh my god, that is fucking genius! Pure, unbridled genius mystery writing. It was there all along, all the clues, all the evidence, all the little breadcrumb hints along the way. It all makes so much sense. I didn't even think twice about it. I was so convinced that Ray was the one that was gonna betray us. I didn't even give Simon a second chance or a second glance. And when I did, I was looking for an explanation as to how he couldn't be the culprit because like I said, I was convinced that it was gonna be Ray. So I'm like, okay, well, if I know that's the case, then it can't be him. This freaking game.
Correct. The good prosecutor must know that I am lacking in sight, do you not?
The correspondence chest letter we found had been typed up using a word processor.
What? That cannot be.
What do you mean?
So, someone went out of their way to retype the letters on a computer?
Could another person have acted as a middleman between Dojin and Knightley? Yes. Yes, they did.
What do you mean?
Dojin wrote his letters in Braille. However, by the time it reached Knightley, it had been rewritten on a word processor. We must assume that some middleman rewrote those letters. And the reverse can also be said. The same somebody might have taken the letters Knightley wrote and redelivered them to Dojin. Yes, that is indeed true. Oh my god, this game, man. That is... My mind is blown, but it all makes sense now. Everything that's been nagging at my brain the entire time, it all lines up so perfectly. It makes perfect sense. Knightley and Dojin both communicated through a certain individual. Dojin, were the letters that reached you?
They were in Braille, of course.
So Knightley Boy's letters must have been transposed by that same person as well.
Oh, then that somebody must be...
the mastermind behind the case. Simon is the man. Simon Keyes is the man who masterminded this game. You're saying that someone else is the master behind this case, and who the hell is it? Dover's son, Knightley, is already deceased. In that case, there is one more youth that we should consider to be the mastermind. You mean Dame Gustavia's son? But who the heck is he? If Knightley is Dover's son, then Gustavia's son must be... God, what voice do I even give you now?
Well, we're the only friends either of us have had since childhood. He was the same as me. We never had real families.
It can't be. Could it really be him?
Mr. Edgeworth, what is it? You've gone all pale.
I figured it out. The identity of the mastermind who's been controlling this case from the shadows.
What? Who in the world is it?
I don't want to believe it myself, but it is someone who we know quite well. I wouldn't say quite well. The mastermind is Simon Keyes.
Take that!
The mastermind behind this case sent a letter to Jill Crane, which deceived Blaze. Furthermore, he kidnapped John and eavesdropped on us. However, of all his actions, the one I have not been able to get out of my mind is how he brought an unconscious Kay to the roof. The giant monster.
Huh? Did you just say something?
That's right. The key to exposing the mastermind is in the monster's true form.
Ah, I almost forgot. If you'd like, please come to our next show. I'll also be performing in it. The Very Big Circus is always fabulous and fun for all ages. Woohoo!
Miss Swift, there is something I would like to ask of you.
What? You mean me?
You said that you recorded the sound of Mozilla spewing flames. Will this decisive evidence of yours be something you recorded on that tape recorder?
That's Mr. Edgeworth for you. You're good at figuring things out, aren't you? It's the sound of Mozilla spewing out fire. This place nearly became a sea of flames. That's right. I ain't actually seen it with my own eyes, though.
Could you let us listen to the tape?
Sure thing. There we go.
This sound is as I thought. So, it seems that my reasoning was correct. The true nature of the monster and the mastermind. All of my logic is coming together. Here we go. Miss Hart, you said that you captured a giant ion film, did you not?
Sure did, right here in this photo.
Though we cannot confirm it like this. Detective Gumshoe! Yes, sir! Lend us your film analysis device. Okay, but what do you want to analyze, sir? This photo, please. I'm on it! Is there a new clue in this photo? Alright, well, let's see if we can get a closer look. I didn't want to zoom in this. Okay. There's something unusual about this area. I pressed. I'm used to zooming in when examining evidence by pressing X. That's why I did that. Okay, zoom in. Okay, there's the eye. We can see it. This is.
See? Ain't the Mozilla's eye right where I said it would be?
It's not an eye, it's a balloon. It's a freaking balloon. Ha, I see. I have finally grasped the true form of the giant monster that was being controlled by the mastermind.
Giant monster? Are you admitting to it? You are, ain't you? You're admitting that the mighty Mozilla's real.
No, this is not Mozilla. This is the eye of a different monster. Please have a look at this.
It's a flyer for the very big circus. Ah! This is...
It's the lion hot air balloon. It is the lion hot air balloon. Precisely, there's a rather large balloon with the head of a lion pictured here. This balloon is the true identity of the giant monster. In addition, the sound Miss Swift recorded, which she believes to be Mozilla spewing flames.
Mr. Prosecutor, don't tell me you're gonna say something that'll shatter my dreams of the scoop.
Hot air balloons fly by using burners to heat the air, right, sir? Precisely, detective. The mastermind used the monsters of his to bring Kate to the rooftop of the Grand Tower without using the elevator.
Wouldn't that mean that the mastermind is someone connected to the circus?
He's a member of the circus, Knightley's friend, and Dame Gustavia's son. Well, who'd have thunk it? An apprentice beast tamer? Heh, he's no amateur. So goddamn smart. And I was right too. The freaking monkey manipulating his hair. That's gotta be because he's the mastermind controlling the puppet master pulling the strings behind the scene. For the BCS team is none other than this entire case. Simon Keyes. He is the mastermind behind this whole incident.
Mr. Keyes was really behind it all? No way. I don't believe it. I mean, we trusted him. How could it have all been a lie? That's just heartbreaking.
Kay. I mean, we didn't really know him for that long. What is it?
Hey, you, stop. Where do you think you're going?
The boy with horns is rather perceptive. The good prosecutor has done a remarkable job. Now that I have heard that, I have no further business here.
What? Wait, Dojin! Oh, dude! Oh! I think Edgeworth just got eaten by the dog. Oh. Damn it, where did he vanish to?
Mr. Edgeworth, are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. However,
that guy.
John?
That Dojin guy. He's the one who killed my dad, right?
There is no question more difficult to answer. However, there's no use in denying the truth. Yes, John, you are correct.
He'll pay for this. I swear he's gonna pay. I'll make him pay my John, you mustn't finish that thought. Prosecutor Edgeworth, please pay us no mind.
Sir, I put out an APB on Dojin. All available police units will be searching for him. You heard the man, kid. I don't mean to be heartless, but we need to hurry too. So, Mr. Prosecutor, where's the mastermind right now? Probably, I can't believe I have to say it, but we probably have to go back to the very big circus. Agent Lang is right. Our top priority now should be catching the mastermind. He said he would be practicing. He is most likely at the very big circus tent. But first, Agent Lang, I have a request. A request? What is it? Now that we've identified the giant monster, our next order of business is to capture it. The moment we arrive at the tent, I need you to locate that specific item post-haste. And Detective, I ask that you perform a follow-up investigation on the kidnapping incident. Roger that, sir!
Mr. Edgeworth, I want to help out too!
In that case, you'll be in charge of calling for backup. If he is truly the mastermind, we may require assistance from a certain someone. I met him so many times, yet his facade always fooled me into sympathy.
He may have got the bit better of me in the past, but this time, I'll settle it once and for all. Oh, here we go. Oh my god. We got it all. All the questions have been answered. All the logic has fallen into place. Now all we gotta do is bring it home and corner Simon Keys. That will be it for now, so thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for next time, and I hope to catch you all tomorrow for what I'm assuming is going to be the grand finale of Ace Attorney Investigations 2. Goodbye!